To the Theatre of the Mind. As ever, we'll get into the parish notes and await everyone getting their feet under the table. Oh, have I? No, I haven't. Right. So it's Tuesday evening. It's live 238. We're virtually romping through these, and tonight we're going to do something slightly different. We're going to have a deep dive, less subjects, deeper dives. And basically, we're going to have a sit rep, Charlie Kirk, because there's not too many people believing what they're seeing or being told by, well, the elite. So if you stay with me, remember, there has to be an adult warning. This is an adult conversation that we have on these lives. So there may be sweary Mary words. There may be, direct conversation. And you can comment in the comments as much as you want. That is there, your free speech. But please be respectful. If you're not, you'll be gone. And we are looking for minds that can absorb everything that I'm going to tell you tonight. So not only are we going to talk about the murky world of politics, or in fact, let's do the parish notes first, and then we'll get into the sermon. The sermon has less in it this evening, but we'll probably take the usual time anywhere between 90 minutes and 2 hours. So welcome to the Body of the Kirk. Welcome. My name's the Reverend Adrian Allen, legitimately the Reverend Adrian Allen. I am a minister of the Universal Ministries out of the Americas somewhere. I've paid me money and I've made me choice. So I am genuinely the Reverend Adrian Allen. This is the Body of the Kirk. It is the pulpit of truth, where the only thing that is in the sermon is truths. You are welcome to come into the Starmers. Why do we call the pews in the Body of the Kirk the Starmers? Because it's a bit hard on your derriere. So we do have piles cushions that are quite comfortable. Sister Mary and now the 3 Austrian nuns that are in the Body of the Kirk, they just heard that, we'll take all comers. Yeah. They do sound like Klaus Schwab. So I've been talking to them today. It's a little worrying. One of them could be his sister, as a doppelganger. But, as things go along, I will keep you up to date as to what those 3 Austrian nuns are up to. Just welcome. If it's the first time, I will pop your cherry once you comment. There are a lot of people that watch, don't comment, and that might want to comment this evening because it's been one of those days, a bit like some of the people that have already commented in the Body of the Kirk. I watched this debate. It was a mass debate, and I watched it from beginning to end. MP David Davis, well, he was doing all right. The Labour Party, bunch of shysters, bunch of crooks, bunch of liars. So we'll also do his legs, Starmer's, politically, metaphorically. Of course, we don't advocate violence towards anyone at all, because we're peaceable in the Body of the Kirk. So welcome to the Body of the Kirk. Les Griffiths, he says, evening all. Human rights lawyers succeed in getting deportation flights cancelled at taxpayers' expense via legal aid. Rule feckin' Britannia. We will talk about that, Les, because I'm as angry as you. I do not trust any of the legal profession whatsoever, because they're not interested in doing the right thing. They're just interested in the Benjamins. So all these feckin' illegals that come into the country are now going to go to lawyers who are going to apply for legal aid and screw the country and screw us of our tax-paying money so that they can fill their arse pocket and do the taxpayer. So as far as I'm concerned, the legal profession can go and foxtrot Oscar. Bastards. So it'll go around all the hotels and all the HMOs and everything else. Oh, don't. Just find somebody and tell them you can have legal aid, because obviously you're illegal. You can have illegal aid. See what I did there? And you can stay in this country. Told you before. The first ones to be rounded up will be the legal profession, because we've had enough of them. They're as bad as not many other people. I just remembered one of my friends is one of the next level, so I've just decided not to say anything. Charlie Kirk accused killer Tyler Robinson charged with aggravated murder, carrying death penalty. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. It's a psyop. And we're going to have a real deep dive into Charlie Kirk's assassination, because dead men can't speak. But at the moment, we are going to have a deep dive because it's a psyop. Don't you understand? It's not even a false flag. It's almost a black swan. It could be a black swan if they change the law in America. And I've been telling you since last December, there's going to be another black swan event in 2025. Is it this? Depends. So once they kill him, if he's found guilty, of course, in a court of law, innocent until proven guilty, we're not going to affect the process of law in this country and or America. We're not commenting on that. We are just simply going to ask questions. I shall continue with the parish notes. It's been a very difficult Tuesday for me today. I've been quite riled at the bullshit in the Ozempic Palace, and there's Fat Lammy's gastric band standing up in the House of Commons, and I was like, Jesus, he's just been for a shit. He's lost about 4 stone or more because he was a proper fat boy. So all of that has just wound me up, and I've not had an opportunity to go and, as Prince Harry attests, you see, going to the gym and just leathering the bejesus out of the heavy bag in the gym, and I don't use gloves, by the way. Not some poncy, let's get some golf gloves. Let's get some boxing gloves. Yeah, 14 ounce. That's what you train with. Any boxing gloves on my hands, because this skin here, on there, it gets tougher the more you practice, may I say. Des Ashton says, good evening, you wrong'uns. We appear to have some massive changes upon us. The general energy and awareness level, it has increased. The apocalyptimists may yet win the day. It's coming, just like Christmas. Lucy Connolly opens up on GB News in exclusive interview. Oh, it's all kicking off. Baby, baby, baby. I love the smell of napalm in the morning. It's a great time to be alive. Don't you agree? I'll just have maybe me hibiscus will calm me down. Jesus. Fat lads turning slim. Crooks staying away from Parliament, just in case they say the wrong thing, and, well, get their derriere spanked. Mind you, Frank Boff paid good money for that. Thank you, Des. Welcome to the body of the Kirk. Paulie Galtieri. Good evening, Adrian. You're utter wrong'un. Hope you've had a good day. Don't ask Paulie. In politicians. Les Griffiths says, Des, I mean this. If we back down now, we are finished. The victors will persecute us without mercy. However, there are growing rumours that Starmer will be gone very soon. Not that it will change things. Oh, it will. Oh, it will. Look, the premise is this. He's toxic. Rachel from accounts is toxic. Ginger Growler, well, it's the money. And it's always with Labour. It's always the money, honey. And Starmer's gone. He's gone. I've been telling you for months and months and months. And if he survives somehow past where is it? Hang on a second. Oh, it's not that one. It's that one. See if this comes up the right way around. No, it won't. So the front of the Daily Mirror today. Hillsborough law unveiled in the name of the 97. Let me tell you, that's bribery. That's bribery, because Labour are going to have they're going to have their jollies. All the dancing girls will obviously be going into Liverpool. There's not enough for the Labour dancing boys, Ukraine dancing boys, Fun Boy 3, 4 tops will all be converging on Liverpool. And what's Starmer got to do? Because Southport, Liverpool hates them. They're going to bribe the Scousers. They're going to bribe them with a new law around the Hillsborough 97. So that they won't get too much hassle when the Labour Party arrive in a very red, deeply red Liverpool. Because the Labour Party might think that it's left. Liverpool is somewhere left of Marxism. And I say that with great love for Liverpool. I worked in Liverpool for Radio City. I say that with great love for the Scousers and Liverpool. Because the Scousers don't go about. Tell it like it is. So you've got that toxic twat, Starmer, coming to Liverpool. Oi, 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 oi. He's a barrister. Makes it even worse. A human rights barrister makes it even worse. Now that we've got that Eritrean, I can stay here. Yes, it's been delayed. My legal aid, my illegal aid, my illegal aid, in case your hearing aid's not working. So now the barristers and the lawyers have seen a huge pot of money just appear out of nowhere. Illegal aid. So Starmer's gone. He's finished. He's over. He's done. Because they're going to find out whether he lied to Parliament. And if you lie to Parliament, the parliamentarians go, oi, bonny lad, Foxtrot Oscar. Oh, sorry, lad. Is that worse than the Fun Boy 3? Oh, much worse than that. We're all bloody crooks and liars. We can't have the human beings out there, the feeders, the breeders. We can't have them pointing fingers at us saying, oh, I say, he's lied. We don't want to be tarred with that brush. They know we're liars, but you're making it obvious, you tart. So, off you go. Yes, off you go. As a Frenchman and a German want to take some... Yes. Anyway, let's continue. The more I delve into Charlie Kirk, the more inclined I am to believe we have witnessed a good guy psyop. Oh, Les, me and you, same page, bonny lad. Wait till you see what I've got for you. David Graham, R.I.P. Robert Redford, the actor from Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. He was 89 years old, R.I.P. Thank you, David. There's not really much more to say. I mean, he just had everything in life. He just had movie star status, millions in the bank. He had his, was it in Aspen? He had his film, stuff. I'm still on politics. I'm ranting tonight. I do apologise. But it needs to be said tonight, to be genuine. So Robert Redford, the film star looks, film star successes, and people loved him because his film festival, that's the word I was looking for. And 89's not a bad innings, considering all the privileges he would have had in Hollywood, if you know what I'm saying. Comprende pas? David Graham, League Cup, Champions League football tonight should be good. Thanks very much, David. Just keep one ear on this, because you might hear some ranting. Andy B. Good evening, one and all, from a sunny but chilly Kent. Hot water bottle already in. Blimey, did you insert it, Andy? Hope you use lube. Amalia Grassi. Oh, Amalia will be telling us this. Hey up. Have to vent. Being pissed off this afternoon, saw one of the illegals photograph a mum and her little daughter and two dogs as they walked past him. Boiled my blood. He was surreptitious and then laughed. They're not going to deport him, Amalia, because the barristers and the lawyers will just want illegal aid. And it's just not right, is it? What would I do? I'd teach him English. My version of English. Because we English don't stand for stuff like that. We don't. And if they want to keep winding us up and they want to keep laughing at us and they want to keep getting in on the illegal aid, Eritrea. It's not even... I mean, Sunderland's more violent than Eritrea. Send him up to Sunderland. Newcastle. Send him to the northeast. He will literally book his own flight. He'll book his own tickets to Eritrea. In the words of the great Chinese philosopher, Foxtrot Oscar, mate, because we call it like it is in the northeast. And if you're mucking about with either our women, our daughters, our children, you'll get found out very quickly. And if you fuck about, you get found out. Because we don't mess about in the northeast. We're not the shandy drinkers. We're not the deviants and perverts in the Ozempic Palace. No, we're not like that at all. We tell it like it is. Come and see us in the northeast of England and find out what real English is all about. Or go to Liverpool, because the Scousers are exactly the same. None of this namby-pamby, pinko, liberal Brumai and London and shandy drinking. No! We drink real alcohol and then see what happens. Because invariably, it will. Oh, Fatal Racing Driver. Hello, Fatal Racing Driver. Welcome to the body of the Kirk. Welcome, Amalia. Raljex spray is effective in such situations, available from any chemist in many supermarkets. Yeah. Yes, I agree. Ish. Thank you, Amalia. Welcome to the body of the Kirk. Rich, really, Les? I'm inclined to believe he was the only shooter, as the evidence stacks up perfectly. Social media posts, chats, and a confession. I mean, it seems pretty clear-cut to me. Nice one, Rich. The Americans don't get irony. Tom Hardy's Evening All, as a wrong-un philosopher once said, you gotta laugh. No laughing tonight. Kind of. Rich, have you got the hot chocolate on the go tonight, Amalia? Yeah. Everybody's round to Amalia's. We can listen to this and watch this, and we'll get some hot chocolate on the go. Nothing better, other than hibiscus, of course. Latest events, according to Les. Oh, Andrew James. Keir Starmer wants to join the Kirk. In the words of the great Chinese philosopher, fuck him. Oh, sorry, that'll be the Ukrainians again. Because you know that the RAF are flying over Poland, just going to Vladimir Putin. Here, Vlad, mate, we're the English and we don't back down. So we're hopping over to Poland just because, well, Ukraine's not far away. And, we've got some ginger knacker that's just been over there to visit the Ukrainians because he's representing Invictus. Really? Ginger knackers? I thought they ditched him for being a twat. Technical term, obviously, that we use in radio. The wise and the stupid. Twats. So, according to Les, latest events reveal a number of other people in his group were bragging about something big happening regarding Charlie 24 hours before the event. His lover is fully cooperating with police. I bet he is. Come and have a word. Laird Wookfit, Rich, except the type of confession doesn't exactly hold any water in a court of law. Could be argued he was lying and just trying to big himself up. Oh, yes, and his note that was destroyed, that somehow the forensics have said it contains certain information. I'd be very interested in whether we're being told the truth around that. But we will get to Charlie Kirk and a big deep dive. We're going to talk about the murky world of politics. Welcome to everybody. Oh, Les. YouTube has deleted my comment on photographic comparison between young Charlie and recent Charlie, which shows incontrovertible proof something is wrong. Have you seen his waxy hands? I did say to you last night, why was Erica Kirk kind of in with the open coffin and weeping and wailing, but she filmed it for Instagram? Are you on board yet? And the waxy hands? Bloody hell, Madame Tussauds couldn't make them like that. Terry, I believe he was involved, but not the mastermind. Right, okay, right. Let's get into the body of the Kirk. We've got everybody in, feet under the table. And please, if you could, it means a lot to me. I do a lot of work free for you. If you could just smash the likes on the way into the body of the Kirk, please. It just allows YouTube to go, bugger me. That Adrian Allen in the Theatre of the Mind, he's quite popular. So it could be a good target if we get over 200 likes, smashing the thummy things. So what are we going to talk about tonight? I'm going to be really straight with you tonight. I'm not mucking about. I've had enough. I'm not mucking about. And I've got another live tomorrow night. And all the stuff that I was going to do tonight, I'm going to have to do tomorrow night. Like them saying, oh, I say, Madeleine McCann was stolen to water. Oh, here, man. Hard away and shite. It's because Christian Bruckner is out. Oh, seemingly you can't say his name. Well, I can. I haven't got a lisp now, so I can say Christian Bruckner. Why would I not? And they're saying, he's a suspect. He's a suspect. Well, if he is, and he's been a suspect for fucking months, get the Met and the Germans to get their heads together and go, right, we've got this evidence. If he's a suspect, charge him. If he's not a suspect, Foxtrot Oscar, because we've had enough of your bullshit and shite. Do you understand what I'm saying? If she was, name the paedophiles, name the gangs. Because look, it's all coming out in America. All the pedos and all the devil worshipping evil just publish and be damned. But they won't, because it doesn't exist. It's a lie. It's corrupt. The only thing I believe out of the newspapers is the price on the front, because they never get that wrong, that's for sure. The Bovril, that was the exact thing that went through my mind. And we're going to talk about sex and drugs and rock and roll, baby, tonight. Les Griffiths, yeah, I know about Roy Whitingham last week. Andrew James, everyone is a suspect apart from the parents. Aguido, sorry, it was just, I don't even know what that word means. It's just something that, I mean, I must have been Portuguese in a past life. Cataplana, Aguido, it's Portuguese. I can speak fluent. Can I shite? Hello from 28C. Oh, Andy Turner, you utter toss. That's it, rub it in, so to speak. And smash the likes, please, everyone. If you could get us over 100 early doors, so we can get over 200 by the time I finish. Now, I'm not quite sure how long this is going to last for tonight, but I've had word from Sister Mary and her big dog Dick. Well, it's not a big dog Dick, really. It's a sausage dog, because I understand Sister Mary, A, loves sausage, and she likes calling her big dog Dick. So I would hazard a guess that Sister Mary is known to love ye old sausage. Now, she's coming around with something a little warmer this evening, because some of the body of the Kirk have been saying they need 3 jumpers tonight. Beata says, hi, Adrian, I saw some of those fatality tents, morgues, today. What do you think they're for? Civil war, Russian war, or another virus? It's very worrying, whatever is coming. 1, they're spunking the taxpayers' money up the wall because they can and they don't tell us. And 2, it's fear porn. Because you see it as you have, Beata, and you've gone, oh, hang on a second, what's going on? Because 5 years ago, March 2020, they said, we're just going to lock you down to flatten the curve, 4 to 6 weeks, and it was 2 years-ish, give or take. And people were dying in suspicious circumstances. That's all I'm going to say for the moment. But look, theatre of the mind. My name's Adrian Allen. We've been fighting for hearts and minds in the battleground of ideas since 1989, baby. And it's a comedy sniffle. Before you start anything, I haven't got a cold. I'm trying to breathe differently so I don't cough. And when I mention it, she's not a dachshund, the Bovril. She just loves sausage. It's a sausage dog. So, Starmer, he's fighting for his political life. We'll have a look at what's going on. Him, Mandy. Starmer is up to his nipples in the brown stuff. I jest you not. We'll be analysing and deep diving everything that's going on. Look, the politicians, a bit like Watergate. It wasn't the crime of breaking into the hotel that did Tricky Dicky. We're back to Dick again. Possibly the biggest dick in America. It wasn't the breaking into the Watergate hotel. It was actually lying about it that did it. So now we have a situation where the politicians are absolutely crapping it. He's up to his nipples in the brown stuff. Frank Boff might have paid good money for that. But it's the lies and the cover-up that will do it for him. And David Davis, the emergency debate, we'll talk about that in just a little while. Windsor is going to turn into Trumpton tomorrow. The Orange Man is arriving. Trumpton? What do you mean, Adrian? Trumpton, 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 Pew, Pew, Barley McGrew, Cuthbert, Dibble and Grub. The Orange Man is coming here. That's as much as I wrote earlier. I didn't even get to the chorus. So, the Donald is saying, I'm coming. Do we go there? I mean, he'll be here, he'll be resting, he'll get his body clock back to UK time because he's come across from DC, which is about 5 hours or so behind us. So it might be a late night tonight, or they might give him a sleeping tablet or a Horlicks and a Viagra. The Horlicks is to help him sleep, and the Viagra is to stop him from rolling out of bed. I mean, it'll be a single bed in Windsor Castle. He loves all that pomp and circumstance. He'll be talking about the online safety bill. Oh, he will be, and he'll be talking about freedom of speech and the art of the deal. So we'll get to Trumpton, Pew Pew, Barley McGrew, Cuthbert, Dibble and Grubb in just a little while. Well, also, the Madeleine McCann headlines, stolen to order. Really? Interesting. So the suspect's going to be freed, but no one's being arrested for it. I wonder why. So let's get into it, shall we? So the sermon this evening is going to be deep. It's a bit like going to the gym and doing squats and or sex and or my life. If it's not deep, it doesn't count. So Robert Redford, sadly, shuffles off, 89. I mean, I'm hoping I can get anywhere near that. Blimey, can you imagine? Everything slows down at that age. Everything, seemingly. Murky old world of politics, or in other words, scandal. 4 scandals. We've got the Windsor event coming up tomorrow and Thursday, and maybe a little bit of Friday. As we said earlier, the Eritrean man wins a temporary block against removal to France, the legal profession, illegal aid. I'm going to talk about some geopolitics a little bit. But I have been watching politics today, so you don't have to. So, you know, Lord Mandelson, to give his current epithet, some people are in the House of Commons have been saying, is he going to resign from the Lords? Oh, I say, they're after him. Because, look, it's not because he sent Jeffrey Epstein emails 15 years ago, 10 years ago. It's because he's bringing scrutiny on those evil deviants in the Ozempic Palace. They don't like it up them. Well, they do. They normally order it on the WhatsApp group to be brought to Portcullis House. So they don't want any scrutiny because he'll spoil all their fun. And today, David Davis was talking about, can you remember Jeffrey Robinson? He was some politician-ish a while ago, but he had big business. So Jeffrey Robinson, whilst Robinson's businesses were under investigation, Mandy, and we are Manolo Mandy-esque, where he got involved. I mean, he was saying to Jeffrey Epstein, oh, Jeffrey, we do love you. We do, yes, you're wholly innocent. He'd been found guilty at that point. And Mandy's going, oh, Jeffrey. Yes, Jeffrey, I'll be American ambassador soon. Don't you worry. You can buy... Oh, sorry, are you dead? Are you stiff? Well, I am stiff, Mandy, but let's not talk about that. Either that or I've got to smuggle this one into town. They want the Prime Minister to apologise. Don't think they're going to. Don't think he's going to, because he's a mannequin. He has no personality. I mean, even when Arsenal score, he's, we scored. So the House of Commons, they want him to apologise. They want, the MPs want someone to take responsibility. They want somebody to be accountable. Now, is it going to be one of those low-level mandarins from Whitehall that went, I did it. Am I going to go into the Lords? Brilliant, I'll take the fall. All right, well, ask a question. Before we get into this deep dive. Do you think that Keir Starmer is going to survive long enough to go to the Labour conference in Liverpool? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Do you think Starmer's going to last long enough to go to Liverpool, considering the audio that I've heard where he hates Liverpool? Neil Cunningham, it was Jeffrey Robinson who lent Mandy 373 grand for a house. Oh, are we talking Ginger Growler again? I know, it's separate, but it's the same kind of shtick. I see you says no. Oh, blimey, loads of people are like, no, 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 no. But there is sort of, I would say, 40% saying yes. Terry Wookford is a useful puppet, a fall guy. Des Ashton, don't give a flying foxtrot. Random Jack, 1, unfortunately. English Bottle Cap, 1. Starmer knows where all the skeletons are. They do. Well, he doesn't know as many as the Chief Whip. The Chief Whip knows where all the bodies are buried because all the MPs have got to be told. Gay? Tick. Coke? Tick. Deviants? Tick. Do you order pizza? Oh, loads of them. So how comes you're not fatter than? Tom Harney says no, hopefully. So about 40% are saying yes, he'll make it to Liverpool, and the other 60% are like, no, useful idiot. Remember when he got down with the plebs and went in a chippy and asked for guacamole dip on his fish? He was referring to mushy peas. Is that a thing? I remember he was chucked out of a pub. Get out my pub! Because he's just toxic, man. He's been toxic from before they were elected. But the Labour Party have elected... Sorry, well, I'm not saying you personally, but the electorate didn't actually elect the Labour Party. They just didn't vote for the Tories, which got Labour in, and they just wanted to get into power. And I told you before they got into power, Starmer is going to be used to get the Labour Party into power, and then once they're in power, they're going to have a female Prime Minister. That's what Labour's all about. So, Ginger Growler is seething in the background. She's apoplectic with rage. Go on, flash your growler at Boris again, Ginger. Yeah, see what happens this time round. I think he's worn it out. He's got that many kids now. But Bridget Phillipson. Hello, I've got a northeastern accent. It's nearly as good as a Mancunian accent. It's very working class. So I'll stand for Deputy Prime Minister. And, well, you know, that's more Geordie than Mackham, to be fair. Well, she's from County Durham. So anybody from County Durham, as far as I'm concerned, are knuckle draggers. And I say that with the greatest love because I'm from County Durham. Sunderland was in County Durham. Charlie Kirk accused killer, directed roommate to confession. Oh, I say. Look under me keyboard. They're at it. They are at it, and we're going to get to it because they're not getting away with it. We will get to that in a moment. But Bridget Phillipson, you know, from the northeast, her mum used to run a charity, and Bridget used to work for it. A woman's charity in Sunderland. So my question to you now, thank you to everyone that's voting. Napoleon blown apart. That is proper funny. Pew, pew, Barney McGrew, Cuthbert, Dibble and Grubb. The new crisis committee, fresh from the pub. They answered the call when the economy sank, then took all your money to refill the tank. That's a perler. Phillipson was born in... Oh, man. Well, Phillipson was born in Gateshead, so she's a Geordie. Can't get past that. And then moved to Washington. She's from Tainan Weir in both senses. Yeah. So somebody that's... And they're only allowing women to stand for Deputy Prime Minister and other stuff. They're only allowing women to stand for that because they want a female Prime Minister. That's what they're after. Labour, the Tories did it back in the 80s with Thatcher. And Labour, the wokerati, just are desperate for a woman to head their party. Head being the operative. Ginger Growler. Didn't see me lips move, did you? No, wasn't me. Must have been YouTube. Hi, Adrian and all, watching from the beginning, late back tonight as usual. Go on, Karina Jane. You can watch it 1.5 times. Lucy Maria Powell could be the next PM, for she is a member of the Fabian Society. Do you, Bovril? You see, it doesn't take much to see through this shite, does it? Durham City, my favourite city, says Les Griffiths. And one of mine too, Les. Born within the sound of the Roker Roar, Roker Park, and I was born in County Durham. But as I'm saying, it's a bit more working class. Durham big meat. So the Labour Party and the Fabians have a lot of love for Durham. And can you imagine them saying, oh, look at this, the miners. and the shipyards and the steelworks, and we have someone from the bosom of the northeast of England, the new Prime Minister. Wonder if there's anything to come out about, is it Phillipson? Somebody call her Lucy Powell. Starmer doesn't know what a woman is. Correct, you might have to ask the Fun Boy 3. When you say woman, can you define woman? Yeah, the complete opposite of what Keir Starmer says. Pink Panther comes from there. Durham, 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 Durham. Did you know Mork from Ork was really a Geordie? Well, yeah, nah, no, nah, nee, nah, 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 no. Yeah, I'm not going to get into the misogyny because that could get us into really dodgy ground. But so Parliament, the Ozempic Palace, they want the PM to apologise. They want to make sure that someone takes responsibility. I would hazard that it's going to be a low-level civil servant from Whitehall. There's conflicts of interest everywhere here. But who's going to be the sacrificial lamb? And who's going to save Starmer? Is it going to be number 10? Is it going to be Lord Ali? Is it going to be somebody else? I mean, grovelling Lord Yum Yum is not going to save Starmer at all. Now, can I just offer this? I knew that Mandy had links to Jeffrey Epstein years ago. I've said to you, in the little black book, which actually is Ghislaine Maxwell's, rather than Mr. Epstein's, it was her little black book, and she had half a dozen telephone numbers for Mandy. So why would she need half a dozen? I mean, all of his landlines to varying places, and why would she need those? So we have a Prime Minister, two-tier, free gear, queer as folk, arsenal supporter, Keir Starmer. He just bloody hides behind everybody else. We've already seen the night of the long knives and what happened in the Labour Party because he wanted to make sure that nobody was going to challenge him for the leadership. He wanted to stay Prime Minister. Everybody else in the country just wants him gone. Off you go, mate. Bugger off. But they're asking for the Prime Minister to come out. Really? Out. That'll be a big story, even though I'm not a size queen. And just remember, politics is a club. You only get to be part of it if they can have something on you. I've told you about the box ticking by the whips. Really? You're into that? Oh, I say. Very few MPs are into that. Frank Boff was. What about Satsumas and auto asphyxiation? Oh, really? Big words? What, oh? Yes, obviously you can come in. Have you got any table tennis bats? Yes. We're all the same. Red or blue, we're all the same. We're all just perverts and deviants. I mean, there's Headless Davy. I watched Headless Davy stand up today and I just thought, oh, Jesus H. He's standing up. Well, he was like, hey, oh, yes, and yes. And he's part of the fucking club. What happened to the 275 grand he trousered that the company of lawyers that were dealing with the postmasters paid him 275 grand. What happened to that? Headless Davy. He's a sir. He's part of the political problem. He's not the solution. He's part of the entertainment. As somebody said in the Houses of Parliament today, and I think it's a great line. Those that, and it was kind of at Headless Davy, those that lick the feet of the unworthy gain nothing but a dirty tongue. Oh, I say, we're back to scat, are we? So they were filibustering. They said, no, we're not going to filibuster. But they're going into recess. Hang on a second, they've only just bloody started. I mean, are the kids got a week or a fortnight off school soon? I mean, they take 3 months off for Christmas, and then they take 4 months off for the summer, and then they've got all these recesses, so they're only at work for 4 weeks a year, and the kids are barely that at school. So they're going into recess, so you know what's happening, don't you? They're going to try and just argue the way, but tomorrow's PMQs is going to be delicious. If Kemi, not good enough, actually does her bloody job. I mean, in the murky world of politics, they're stabbing each other in the front, let alone the back. The Labour hierarchy are trying to kind of get some semblance of control over what's going on. They're all at each other's throats. It's not the scandal, stupid. It's the cover-up. And they're going to cover up and cover up and cover up before going into recess. Let's have a look at Starmer and let's see whether his derriere goes 50p sixpence, 50p sixpence, whilst he's in PMQs tomorrow. As I say, he's fighting for his political life. He's up to his nipples in brown stuff. And that emergency debate today, was it a debate? It's all hot air. Now come of it. 3 hours. I was losing the will to live at the end of it. Isn't anybody going to do anything? But David Davis, to give him all his credit, he did ask some very pointed questions. And everybody was like, yes, 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 yes. Terry Wookford, October midterm, what, in September? Slaggers. It's impossible that Starmer didn't know. He's lying as usual, in your view, Beata. And yes, he's done. He's toxic. He's toast. Terry Wookford hits the nail on the head, and then I'm going to move on. It wasn't a debate. It was an arse-covering exercise. Deny and deflect. I agree, Terry. I completely agree. So, let's do that. The whole of Labour's toast. And a lot of people are saying, oh, I quite, Andy Burnham, he's quite good looking. He's done lots of good things for Greater Manchester. Thing is, he's got skeletons. What, you think I'm going to repeat them here? Let's just see. Andy Burnham has said previously, I'm not going, I don't want to be an MP. Why is that, Andy? Good-looking guy, personality, politics, no substance, although he's done good things for Manchester. So let's just see if the thing is, reform is on such a surge. The Labour Party, literally 50p sixpence, 50p sixpence. They're all scared shitless. Why? Because they daren't go to the electorate, because the electorate's going to laugh in their face and go, oh, do you know we're going to vote reform now? 34% yesterday. Who would vote for reform if tomorrow there was a general election? 34%. Labour's back on 19. The Tories on 15. And then Headless Davy and his party, I mean, they're completely insignificant. Don't know why he's allowed any time to stand up and talk about social care. Social care. Every time I open my mouth, it's social care. Oh, here, how do we end shite, man? We've had enough. That's why I call you Headless Davy. Just tell us, what did you do with the 275 grand that you were paid by the firm of solicitors that were trying to prosecute the postmasters? In my view, that's evil. Evil is as evil does. I've told you before, when I think of the legal profession, there are obviously going to be exceptions within that. Some people are, I know some barristers, some very ethical barristers who are trying to do the best by people and their cases, but there's an absolute shit ton of evil in the legal profession. They're just there because they can make money. They now can make illegal money from the illegals who don't want to go back to Eritrea or France, or Eritrea via France. So don't worry, the Orange Man is going to come to save everybody, because the newspapers don't. Look, Starmer's gotten to today, arse covering in the Ozempic Palace. And then we've got the Orange Man that will take all the news, all the coverage from tomorrow for 3 days. Then we'll get to the weekend, and then we get to Monday morning. And you know what Monday morning, you know what that does and what it means. Yeah, you'll have forgotten about what was going on today. I mean, that's why they dump all the brown stuff on a Friday afternoon, because, you have your weekend, you have your family, you have your large ones and whatever you do. And then you get to Monday morning and think, oh, Jesus, am I back to work? So now, Charlie Kirk. Israel is now part of the conversation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer you questions and a sitrep, a situation report on Charlie Kirk. It's barely been a week. So I'm going to give you, the jury, all the deep evidence that I've been able to amass today. And you tell me whether it's a psyop or whether it's genuine. And I'll ask you at the end, you are the jury, and you can decide what you think about this whole situation. I'm going to give you a sitrep and a deep dive. Hang on, who's Lionel? Rusty's roamings. Well, that's the only reason Esther McVeigh does so well. I think I've got two reasons why she does so well. So, I'm going to give you some stuff to think about. This is a deep dive into something that the whole world is being distracted by. We have a man that has been charged with his murder, assassination, however you want to term it. He unalived him, seemingly, because they've got all the evidence. A note that was destroyed, but seemingly they've managed to cobble it back together. So I'm going to give you two options. I'm going to give you the lone gunman psyop, and I'm going to give you the trans agenda. So let's take the common sense path between the two, and you make your mind up. You are the jury this evening, and I am merely putting my case, my sitrep and deep dive to you. So the common sense approach. Well, this is the weapon that Tyler Robinson used to assassinate Charlie Kirk. Having watched the press conference, that wrapped up the case in its entirety. So we have a satisfactory ending to a very difficult news story. But I have one problem, and it concerns the rifle. In the first video we saw of Tyler Robinson, he was limping in a neighborhood on his way to the rooftop. I couldn't see how he got onto the roof. Anybody know? Anybody see any ladders? Any boxes? Because he had to hang to get off the roof, he had to hang from the roof and then drop quite a considerable drop. So where was the ladders to get him on the roof? And why didn't anybody see anything that assisted him in getting on the roof? Because access and egress, he would have gone in and come out exactly the same way. And they're saying that the reason why he may have struggled to get onto the rooftop is because he had the rifle placed down his trouser leg, forcing him to limp. I mean, does that make sense? Possibly. But if you've got a 40-odd inch rifle shoved down the front of your trousers, and your sphericals are going to be in a right state by the time you've done what you needed to do and got off, how did he get on the roof? Nobody's given you that, have they? No. And the next video clip we see of him, Tyler Robinson, he's running along the rooftop with no limp. And since he didn't leave the weapon on the rooftop, he must have disassembled it and put it in his backpack. Again, common sense. That would make sense. That's part of the narrative that they're trying to get us to digest. But when the weapon was discovered in the woods, it had been completely reassembled. That doesn't make sense. So if Tyler Robinson was trying to make his getaway, which he was, why would he take the time to reassemble the weapon? Oh, I'll just, I'll leave it for them to find. That doesn't seem logical to me. Does it to you? Now, not to be conspiratorial about this, but something just doesn't smell right about this. The shooter, a bit like the guy that tried to assassinate President Trump and then was shot and died, so he can't talk. They have zero social media. I mean, zero. Even my granny has social media. Everybody's got social media. Virtually everybody's had Facebook since 2007. I mean, can you imagine going to school and your peers are like, "Oh, can I Insta you? Can I send you this?" No, I don't have. What? You've got no social media? No. No Facebook? No. No Twitter? No. How old are you? 22. Why have you not got in social media? Oh, just in case I assassinate someone. So the left are just full of hate. They're all losing their jobs now. It's a thing. But now there's word that there was another shooter at the event. And I saw a video today where they're saying that this exit wound, as you're facing me, it would have been that one. That side. The exit wound came out. And there should have been blood and snot everywhere. Like, if you sever the carotid artery, your heart's still pumping and it will spurt everywhere. And it didn't. I will get to that in a moment. But now, what this has done has triggered possibly the biggest mass awakening. Even 9/11 didn't do this. Black Swan event, the world's never the same afterwards. Is this a Black Swan event? It could be. But I think there's more to come. So, at the risk of being called an idiot, which is not a first, I'm going to preface this by saying that I'm not insinuating anything. I'm just presenting a deep dive, and you, the jury, will... Okay, Terry. So I'm just going to ask questions, legitimate questions, because I'm asking for help with answering them. So these are kind of the questions that I've come up with today, just looking at this and just cogitating on it. So in the shooting video, there is a black dot on Charlie's shirt that moves across his chest at the same time of the shot. Now, the black dot arrives at his neck at the same time the blood begins to pour out. Some people have said that that sort of black dot was a microphone. Even though he had a handheld, nothing better. But the black dot moves across the front of him and arrives at the neck at the same time as the blood starts spurting. And in the same video, the F in freedom disappears after the shot and then magically reappears as Charlie begins to slump to the side. Now, I know that, and this may be too much information for you. I know it's a sad event. I know no man or woman should be killed for any political persuasion they may have. But when a bullet goes through the neck and severs the spinal cord, it induces in the human body a stroke, which is why Charlie, his hands came up. He was having a massive stroke as he fell over. And if you look at the video, in the shooting video, again, during the shot, Charlie's hair glitches. It changes positions and then immediately returns back to the original position. Now, some people have suggested AI. I would suggest that this is a devastating event for any body, any physical body, any human body. So, I won't go into too much detail, but it's a question that I'm not sure people are able to answer. And again, people have talked about Charlie's ring on his ring finger. Now, he lowers his hands momentarily and the shot goes off 1 second later. His hands go back up and the ring is then on his pinky finger. So I will say this to you. Do you think that if this was a military assassination, that they wouldn't go online and try to murky the waters and try and get people to question their reality around it so that they could give that answer? So his hand's there and his wedding ring's on there and it goes up and then goes down and then back up and his ring's on his pinky finger. We're talking about it's a kind of swivel ring that Charlie had played with a lot whilst he was doing these question and answer sessions with the students. So finally, I'll give you something that is the hardest to explain, in my humble opinion. A Mauser. Now, we've had corroboration and confirmation that a Mauser is what Tyler Robinson used. It's not an easy process to disassemble and reassemble a Mauser. So he had the rifle secured to his right leg when he climbed onto the roof. How did he get on the roof with that particular hindrance? Yeah, Terry Wookfit, Mauser 3006. So they're saying that Tyler Robinson shot Charlie and then disassembled the rifle to put it in his backpack. He then jumped off the roof, disappeared into the woods, then reassembles the rifle, wraps it in a dark-coloured towel, and according to Kash Patel from the FBI, he's the head honcho of the FBI, he said, we have DNA from the towel that confirms Tyler Robinson. So Tyler Robinson wraps this Mauser 3006 in a dark towel and hides it in the woods for the FBI to find it? I mean, that makes no sense to me. None. And I would say at the moment, I am on the fence with all of this. Because I'll offer you this. Was it a faked death? Some of the reportage I'm hearing, I've heard that Charlie wanted out and faked his own death. Was it a faked death to prove something and open up for bigger details to be exposed? I'll ask you another question. And this is the more difficult question. In fact, it's the most difficult question. Did Israel have a hit on him? Was it the American deep state? Was it Mossad and the CIA? Did he really die? And why was he taken away in a vehicle and not an ambulance? Why was the hospital on lockdown before the shooting even took place? You didn't know that, did you? So I would suggest there's no way that was a Mauser 3006 at 175 to 200 yards. Surely the kill shot would have been much more gruesome. Is the exit wound just in the neck? So where's the entry wound? I mean, look at what happened to JFK in the 60s when they wanted rid of the president. They literally mangled his head. There was no coming back from it. So where's the exit wound? Literally, the blood splatter should have been all over the back of that tent. Some people are now saying, well, it was definitely close range. It wasn't from 175 to 200 yards away. Some people are saying, well, he was wearing a metal plate or a ballistics vest, so he couldn't get shot. People are now, the difference between the Zapruder film in the 60s and Kennedy and what is happening now, everybody's got a phone, everybody's got a camera, everybody's got footage all over the place. Are they going to do what the FBI did with the assassination of Kennedy and take all the evidence, all the 9/11 evidence, particularly from the petrol station opposite the Pentagon? They took all the footage from the CCTV there. That's when you see things and it blows up in the Pentagon. That's what you see. It's the CCTV from across the road, but they don't let you see the missile that goes into the Pentagon, do they? Oh no, that would be too much. We're just looking after people. So there's a guy behind Charlie. The one thing that I know about human beings, if there was a setup and they're saying, oh, some guy in the white baseball cap, he was tugging this and tugging his ear, and another guy standing next to him in the black T-shirt and sunglasses, he was rubbing his arm. Look, they're not going to stand around somebody that's about to be shot dead. They won't, because they can't trust the shooter, seemingly because he was up a height. What kind of military operative would stand literally a foot or two away from Charlie Kirk as he's being shot. And why didn't the bullet go through Charlie? And where's the bullet? Where's the bullet that killed him? Where is it? Couldn't even find Kennedy's. But that's why I'm asking. That tent was a crime scene. The roof at the university was a crime scene. So why wasn't it roped off and investigated by Scenes of Crime, the American version of Socko? Why couldn't they find it? Rod saying on CNN tonight, the text messages were read out to his partner and roommate. They said he hid his gun in the woods, hoping to be able to get back to pick it up later when the police presence had moved away. Mike Disney saying, how do you know it wasn't? Because I'll guarantee you, Mike, the American authorities, the FBI and the intelligence agencies and the Trump administration would have been shouting it from the rooftops. Because they've done exactly the same. Oh, we found the rifle. Yeah, we found it in the woods. And we found DNA on the towel of the suspect. So where's the bullet? And we know that ballistics, they might go through one human being and they'll land in another, but nobody else was hurt. Not a single other human being. So how does that work then? I mean, the two guys behind him, the guy in the black T-shirt and sunglasses and the guy in the white T-shirt and hat, are those hand signals? I mean, look at how deep this is going. And look at how people they're asking questions. We are, after being locked down 5 years ago, and know that the president of America was assassinated by Israel, Mossad, mafia. He needed to be taken out. Now, is there a reason why Charlie Kirk needed to be taken out? We will get to that. But look at all the questions I'm asking you so far. Would you say that Tyler Robinson is a 100% patsy? Look at, I'm just going to compare two assassinations. We don't have to do MLK. We don't have to do Robert Kennedy Jr. We just have to do JFK. Dead men can't speak. Look at the assassination of Trump. Fight, fight, fight. Dead men can't speak. And the thing, and I said this last night on the live, I don't know. Looking at, I mean, was Charlie doing an homage to the Trump? Look at his waxy hands. They look orange. I mean, look, I know that they may have had to almost embalm him or prepare him for his coffin. And having been close to people that have died, the skin takes on a blue colour. So maybe they were just adding makeup to that. But it's just the waxiness of the hands. They don't look authentic. And why film it and put it on social media? So I'll ask this question. Why was he in Air Force One or Two? He's not military, Charlie. But no military vets are in an uprise about that. Using military conduct for a non-military person. So, I'll now get graphic. Where's the blood? Look, when Kennedy was shot, it was all over the back of the car. I mean, Jackie was picking up bits of his skull, bits of his brain. Where's the blood? And why wasn't it locked down? Because it was a crime scene. So why didn't the blood stain and soak into his T-shirt? We saw the gush. And part of this is the whole world on social media is dissecting it because it gets clicks and likes. What I'm trying to do here is give you a situation report, a sit rep, so you can dissect the information. Amalia says a video was cut at impact. One of them was. I see you said Hollywood stage, done badly. The FBI were there because there was, remember the guy that was getting hold of the baseball caps and flinging them out to the audience? Why was that person allowed there? That's a crime scene. All of it. So that evidence is just going to be wasted. But it's convenient. So, again, I'll be graphic about this. So that one kill shot was so close to the mouth with a jugular shot. Why didn't the blood gurgle out of Charlie Kirk's mouth? Now, I'm sorry to be so graphic, but it is a question that needs to be answered. Why wasn't there a blood trail when he was carried away? Because the whole audience would have had their cameras out. And why didn't anybody see Charlie being carried away? And why was there no blood trail? Terry says, the hats were being flung pretty much straight after the kill. Police had not secured the area. But it's an FBI operative that goes to him and says, "Oi, bunny lad, how do we?" Why didn't anyone, and there must have been FBI there because we've seen at least one of them, why didn't they secure the area immediately? This is an assassination attempt. Why didn't they secure the area immediately? And now we're getting the same narrative. It's a lone nut assassin. I would suggest that the hand-wringing on TV is constant about the darkness that has overtaken America. The divisiveness has never been so acute. The term civil war has been mentioned on Wednesday more than 129,000 times on X, or Twitter if you will, according to an analysis by the New York Times. But then again, you know how I feel about the media. On Thursday, the day after, it was mentioned at least 210,000 times. That was up from a daily average of around 18,000 times in previous months. That's all from and reported by the New York Times. And it's the term civil war. So writing about, and I read this and I just made some notes about it. So writing about the two assassination attempts on Donald Trump's life, a guy called Lou Rockwell wrote that we are supposed to rule out a coordinated group attempt, but instead we are told by the left-wing mass media we must not think so. Each assassination attempt was the work of a lone nutter. And the lone nutters had no connection with each other whatsoever. And to think otherwise would be the product of a conspiracy theory of history. Anybody thinking anything other than the narrative that is being put out there, you're a conspiracy theorist. Well, let me just offer you this. To anybody that thinks I'm a conspiracy theorist and anybody else is a conspiracy theorist that questions the narrative that we're being offered, the conspiracy theorists have never been wrong. But what they are doing is they are injecting paranoia into us. I've talked about fear porn before. Now, in this country, we've been living under a uniparty for decades. And I'm kind of inserting this so that you get the questions from the Charlie Kirk assassination and how it dovetails into what's going on in this country, because we've got the Donald, the orange man, here for the next 3 days. Alan makes a very, very good point. I thought snuff videos were illegal, and yet here we are, live, all over social media. And I agree with you, it was a horrible thing to watch. But I look at the reality of it, not the perception. Because we're being fed perception. And as I say, has Mossad and the CIA got a hand on this? Is it truly a lone nutter? Is it a psyop? Or are we looking at a very, very, very complex and convoluted movie? So as I say, we've been living under the Uniparty, that's the Conservatives and Labour, which are both the same, for decades. Populism in this country continues to surge in a post-Brexit Britain. The traditional Labour-Tory duopoly is now hemorrhaging support badly, massively. While Reform UK is now topping the polls, I told you that earlier. There seems to be little doubt that the party political establishment, the parasitical classes, if you will, is now crumbling in the face of an increasingly furious populace. And it's only really Trump that stopped similar happening in America, but it is happening in a slightly different way. So let's look at the comparison of what is happening in this country and what, with Charlie Kirk and his assassination, is happening in America. So I know that David Starkey was on a podcast recently to discuss the state of British politics, if you will. I've watched it for over 4 hours today. Dear Lord, I was losing the will to live at the end. But it's the explosion of popular anger and what might happen next that is important. So let me offer you this. You cannot fight culture with more culture, but you can fight it with the law. I fought the law, and the law won. Always happens. But look at Charles Linton, Anthony Charles Linton Blair, or just Charles Linton, Bow Street Magistrates. Google it, you'll find it. So, can we fight? We can't fight culture with more culture. We have to fight it with the law. So if you're politically homeless because of what's going on in this country, you don't know whether you're Arthur or Martha, whether you're up or down, and what is exactly happening in this country, it appears that, I've told you before, the old uns who were shafted by Labour, who couldn't get their winter fuel payments, who were told, oh, we're going to, your pension, oh, we're going to chop your knees off. And the pensioners were getting it tight. All the time they were getting it tight. And now those particular chickens, whether they're, well, the older chickens, shall we say, are now coming home to roost. Because they're sitting there waiting. They're waiting to be able to go to the poll and just tick the box, which goes Labour Party, Foxtrot Oscar. Tory Party, Foxtrot Oscar. Lib Dems and Headless Davy, they can just have a wee and shite. They're not even a political party. I mean, what function do they serve? None. So all the old uns and the young uns, that's why they're bringing the youngsters in who are now 12 or 13-year-old who are going to vote in the next general election. I mean, they don't even know what a fucking woman is. How can they vote in a general election? GB Patriot wouldn't put it past the establishment to go to war somewhere and suspend Parliament. Ooh. Nice one, Terry. Thank you, GB Patriot. Air Force One is currently under Irish ATC, which is air traffic control, approaching Limerick on its route to Stansted. Arrival time, Stansted, 8:50. They'll be making him sleep on his way over to make sure that he can sleep tonight and then get up in the morning, have a natural day, and enjoy his day. Mike Disney says, the filmmaker was forced to get the actors to appear to show they hadn't actually died, so I heard. It was in the 70s. Ooh, I'll have to have a look at that. So, Les, I didn't see. So, Reform are polling as much as all the other political parties together. Now, all the other political parties are polling at 40%. Reform has 34. And that doesn't include the people that go to the pollsters and go, don't know. They know exactly who they're going to vote for. They're not going to vote for this shower of shite. Wait till we get the next budget in November. Nobody's ever going to vote for them. They're done. They're finished. They're toxic. Nobody wants them. Nobody wants the Tories. Nobody wants Labour. Nobody, even less, wants Headless Davy. We're done. The whole country, we're just sitting there waiting for the opportunity to do away with these bastards. Because no, and don't get me started on digital ID. We are going to talk about it tomorrow night, because you need to understand, you need to stand up and stop this shit giving us digital ID, because your life is not going to be worth living, and you can kiss your arse goodbye. So they're talking about those that are going to vote for reform a little bit on the right, because it's not, right out there, right? But there are people in this country that must ensure the next government, whatever shape it may take, is prepared wholly to alter the legal basis of the Blairite state. Told you that man's evil. He's on the board of the World Economic Forum. I mean, do you need any more corroborative evidence of his evil and the amount of millions he's made since he didn't and wasn't no longer Prime Minister or a politician? Now, I've told you about the Seville Entente Cordiale is the French word, but the Seville paper, the treaties that we signed, because it was an international treaties, and the Seville Contempt, I think it is, treaties says that the next government, which will be a reform government, there's no getting away from it. Everybody's sick and tired of all this shite. Of the £5,000 takeaways, the flying around on private jets, the going to Arsenal all the time as a freebie, 100 grand's worth of freebies. Can you imagine what he's getting now? Free Coca-Cola on a train. I wonder if the Ukraine Fun Boy 3 were freebies from Sniffy. Yeah, just send Ginger Sphericals out to Ukraine. He'll have a word with Sniffy. I mean, he's admitted to doing similar in his own book, Spare. Just remember, the king, when he was the Prince of Wales, sent Ginger Sphericals to a heroin rehab. Now, I'm not suggesting he's done something like that, but they sent him to a rehab that specialised in getting kids off heroin, people off heroin. It was front page of the News of the World, for God's sake. So the reason why it feels like chaos, but it's planned. And the reason why these ideas are so powerful and why it's been so difficult to do anything about them is because they are so deeply entrenched. They're entrenched within universities, whose growth they foster. And they're entrenched, above all, in our legal system. I've told you before, I wouldn't pee on them if they were on fire, the legal profession. But we can change these things. This awakening in America, that's why it's being debated so hard and at great length. Because the Americans, not the brightest tribe on the planet, but they've woken up. Trump, I'm not suggesting he had anything to do with Charlie Kirk and his assassination. I have to make that clear so no one doesn't jump to the wrong conclusions. But you can see by Trump in America that they're changing things. I mean, they had a president that shit himself in public. Joe Biden, President Brown Trousers. He was shitting himself all over the place. His bowels didn't work. Well, they did. They just pushed it out the back end. But the Americans now understand that they can change these things, and we have to change these things in this country. But we can only change it if the right here is as well prepared. So the right here in the United Kingdom, the Great British Isles, the Sceptred Isle, are as well prepared as Trump for his second term, or better. Now, I will say this to you. Kirk was a probable presidential candidate. He was taken out and stopped early. Now, I don't trust America, because if they can shoot their own president in the 60s, JFK, they are prepared to do anything. Except walk on the moon, of course. But Kirk was bringing the youth with him, And if he was bringing the youth with him, he was going to be president, a probable president at some point over the next 10 to 15 years. He might have even been a running mate with J.D. Vance in 2028. That's how close. So if he was then saying, "Oh, I'm not really sure," and they're saying that he turned money down from Israel, from Netanyahu, because he wasn't prepared to curtail what he saw as truth. So let's get back to the sitrep with Charlie Kirk. Have you heard of the billionaire Bill Ackman? Now, he convened a stormy Israel intervention with Charlie Kirk. That's the latest on the wires out of America. So a month before Charlie Kirk's killing, billionaire, pro-Israel money man Bill Ackman arranged an intervention in the Hamptons, during which, according to sources on the wires, they say he and others hammered Charlie Kirk for the conservative leader's growing criticism of Israel influence in Washington. And as I've said to you, Charlie Kirk was taking the youth with him. It might have taken 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, but the youth grow up and he was speaking their language and debating their language and being on the side of, if I may be so bold, as some people said in America, on the side of right and God and Christianity. We have Turning Point GB. You've got Turning Point in America. We have 60 branches in this country, in the British Isles. They don't talk about that, do they? No. But they're on the side of Christianity. Can you imagine where we're going to go with that, considering how many of the illegals are coming across on the boats? They want this place to burn. They want chaos. They want civil war. Why? Because then they can implement laws that mean that you and I will have no free speech. We will have digital ID brought in and implemented. We will have no other choice. So, Charlie, I'm told, came away fretting about Israeli, and I use this word lightly, blackmail. Because sources say he was contemplating a Catholic conversion. He was a Christian man. He was biblically, he was a well-versed Christian man. He didn't need to convert to anything. But two main religions in this world? Well, three. You've got Judaism, Catholicism, and you've got the Muslims. And I think for this evening, we won't go there. But, I mean, you can talk about the Chinese. The Chinese are communists. Communists don't believe in God. Same in Russia. So you've got Hinduism, and you've got all these. Is there 8 gods in total? 8 or 9 gods? But all of those paths lead to the same place. All of them. So the suspect, again, from my research, has appeared to confess on Discord, which would be really convenient. So the narrative, he's confessed. He's left a note saying he was going to do it. It's really simple and really easy. So the now charged individual appeared to take responsibility for the shooting on Discord. A company spokesperson has confirmed to the American media, "It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this." That's the shooter. "It was me at UVU, which is Utah University. I'm sorry for all of this." And that is a message from an account that allegedly belongs to Robinson, according to American media's coverage. Now, America is looking at the violence of it all, and they're apportioning it to the left, the Democrats, the Marxists, socialists, however you want to term it, because it's all termed very loosely, because there's different flavours of the same thing. I mean, the Labour Party, I thought, was a socialist workers' party. Doesn't appear to be so since Blair. It's now the Fabian Socialist Party. And I know that I genuinely know people that have been members of the Fabian Society, and I'm sure they had an intellectual rigour within it. But there would be an element within anything that has their own agenda. So some people are saying that Charlie Kirk didn't die in vain. His assassination was dramatically exposed if it was still needed. The awful violence of the far left, the Democrats in America. I'll use the word Democrat or Democratic Party or Democratic supporters because that's much easier to digest and understand. But as I've just said, there are many flavours of the left in America, as there are in this country. But you're not going to hear about the far left on the BBC or read it on progressive websites. So now that you've heard the questions that I've asked and the sit rep around Charlie Kirk, you, the jury, I'm going to ask you one simple question. Do you believe this is a psyop? And encased within that question is, do you believe we're being told the truth? Do you believe it's a psyop? Do you believe it's a setup? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Echoes Bunny Woman, too many anomalies around the assassination. So the question, it's kind of multiple parted, but the question I'm asking, do you believe the narrative that you're being told? Do you believe it's a psyop? They're encased both the same. Alan says, I don't know. We're getting about, 75, 80% that don't believe what we're being told. The Yule Bovril again, 3, I don't know. Okay, 1, 2 or 3. Yes, no, don't know. Because it's a lot. Echoes Bunny Woman, no, it's a psyop. Nikki says yes, perhaps an advantage to be taken of, says Des Ashton. But the Americans always say, in every crisis, there's an opportunity. Abby Caston says, I don't know. Beata says, I don't know. Nikki, Martine, Alison, Legalista. Alan, a lot of people are saying, I don't know. And that's fantastic. People are definite, yes. Some people are definite, no. NB Media UK, 2. Cuban Pete, always Cuban Pete. So it's, I see you, says it's bull. Vixtex, we still don't know the truth about JFK. Well, we do. And I will say this now, I recorded, a little while ago, I recorded an interview with a guy called Mark Shaw, who's one of the world's foremost experts on JFK, Marilyn Monroe, and the assassination attempt. And within that interview, which is about an hour and a quarter, like my David Icke interview, gives you lots of things to think about. So Lauren Taylor says, 3, I don't trust anybody. And I think there's a lot of people just observing and watching exactly what happens. So thank you for all your votes. The Yule Bottle says, very interesting result, Rev, but genuine, which is good. Yes, of course. The critical thing is, and the reason why I've wanted to do a deeper dive into Charlie Kirk, the assassination, the situation of America, and do a situation report, a sit-rep, if you will. The reason why I wanted to do it is because there will be other things. And now that someone's being charged that we're aware of, although in this country, I think we're allowed our opinions about America. It's different if you're American living in America. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get to some other stuff. There is a lot of stuff going on today that this story is eviscerating from the news cycle. and I want to tell you about some of that. Right, we'll rattle through this as quickly as I can, because I want to get to Mandelson and Starmer again, and give you. I want to talk about what J.D. Vance is saying to the American public. I want to talk about Israel, and the United Nations has confirmed Israel committed genocide against Gaza. Now, this is the 1948 genocide group. It's a 72-page legal document, and 4 of the 5 genocidal acts within that legal indictment has been perpetrated. Killing members of a group, preventing births, causing serious mental and physical harm, and deliberately imposing conditions to destroy people. They're the 4. And this is from the 1948, straight after World War II, a 1948 genocide group. They put together a 72-page legal indictment, and of the 5 genocidal acts within that 72-page legal indictment, Israel has perpetrated 4 of the 5. And I think the Donald landing tonight, getting a good night's kip, the distraction is going to ensue. Epstein, Fabian, Wef, Israel, Gaza, those stories are not going to exist. But let me give you an opportunity to reflect on the last week or so. Ginger Growler, I'm calling it the return of the Mac. Do you think that she was not a kick in the backside away from being the first female Labour Prime Minister, and she's just going to go away quietly? I don't hear, man. She's still in there. She's an MP. So the 40 grand capital gains and stamp duty. The flat was bought in 2015. The seaside flat, anyway. And you do know that if she hasn't paid, an HMRC get their claws into her, depending on what legal advice she accepted, they can claw back penalties from Ginger Growler of up to £30,000. And Starmer's resignation, the last 7 days, it's resignation by 1,000 cuts. The HMRC investigation continues. It was confirmed she broke the ministerial code. This is chaos, not government. But Rayner needed to be sacked. But it's politically ruinous for the Labour Party. Chaos, not government. Do we want this? Well, I'll give you some slightly better news. Shabima Mahmood, the Home Secretary, has said today that social media posts, well, the police are to be given discretion. So hopefully we won't get any more Lucy Connolly cases. Sir Mark Rowley from the Met. They've asked for non-crime hate incidents, or NCHI. They love an anachronism. I mean, there's Graham Linehan was arrested by, 5 or 6 cops? That's just absolutely absurd. But hopefully the Home Secretary is going to bring in common sense policing. But will she change the policing threshold? Mark Rowley is asking for non-crime hate incidents to not be done away with, but not to be as vigorously policed. And the police are going to be given discretion, according to Shabima Mahmood. Can I just take a pause? And Alan says a by-election should have been called in Growler's constituency. She was only sacked from her jobs. She didn't resign as an MP. She couldn't be sacked as an MP because she's been elected by the electorate. So they can't sack her as an MP. They can just sack her from all the jobs that she had. She had about 3 or 4 of them. She's broken the law, hence the reason she stepped down. No, she broke the ministerial code. It's not illegal. It's just morally reprehensible. So she's sitting there. She knows who did her political knees. She knows. And I'm telling you, there's chaos and civil war in the Labour Party because the whole Labour Party know who did her knees. I don't have to say it to you. You already know. But I'm just gonna put a pause on things before we get to Starmer Watch and Mandelson. I just want to very quickly talk about ginger sphericals, ginger naggers. It's his 41st birthday today. Did you know that? 41. 41. How old's his missus? 60? I'm being facetious, you're wrong. So the snake, in my view, has reared his head. I think what needs to happen is he needs to publish his visa application. What's he doing in Ukraine? On behalf of whom? So is it using somebody else's aeroplane, to go to Ukraine? Why would he go there? Is the money to be laundered? Is he building bridges with Invictus because he's scared to lose that? I mean, they just want to step away, because anytime he has anything to do with Invictus, you guess who's behind him? Yotko. I mean, I thought he'd been dropped from Invictus. So he comes across here and then does an interview with the BBC. And I believe King Billy, as he will be, has actually got the measure of the boy. Doesn't want anything to do with him. The book, Oprah, BBC. He's now done an interview with the Wokerati, the Guardianistas. He's not blameless. He's grifting. The narrative, it's all about Papa. Which one? So I'm going to ask you a question. Real simple question. I want to see what the zeitgeist is. I want to see how you feel about ginger naggers. It's a technical term, better than ginger nuts. Buy a packet of those every now and again. Do enjoy them. Fred Barker, Growler's constituency, the mind boggles. So, do you want Prince Harry returning to the fold of the royal family? 1 for yes, 2 for no, and I'll give you 3. I don't know. Abby Caston, he's gone to see Sniffy for some sniff. Oh, it's freebie. Do you want the bottle dunked in tea, though? We don't want tea bagging from ginger knackers. Do we want Prince Harry back into the royal fold in this country? The old bottle says yes, but everybody else, no. Rusty's Roaming says a yes, but everybody else, no. 2, and dissolve the establishment. Interesting, Andrew James. Napoleon blown apart. See ya. Not Napoleon blown apart, ginger knackers. Gary Shabot, all these ducks in a row. Only if he behaves and repents and grows up. Amali, you've got no chance. That boy, he's so thick. If you blew up his nose, he'd go off like a referee's whistle. He's not the brightest. That's why she can control him. I mean, using ye old, hello, darling, shall we? Oh, again, Megan. Yes, come on. I mean, how's he going to bring the kids over? Central casting. The Ginger Prince is still an ambassador for Invictus. Ukraine are hoping to be awarded the next Invictus Games is all. Bloody hell. Laird walk fit. Can you imagine? You get all the injured to go to Ukraine. So thank you for all of your votes. I don't see how he can return. I think Will is going to slim down the monarchy, says Rich. I agree. So shall we very quickly talk about, because I'm loving all of this, Mandelson, just so you get a grip of this. That's the situation, not Mandy. So Starmer backed him. Oh, yeah, he's got my vote of confidence. It's like being, I don't know, a manager for a football club where the chairman goes, he's got my every backing. So the argument is, did Starmer know about the emails when he stood up and, according to other MPs, lied to Parliament? But he backed Mandy. Oh, Mandy. But Mandy's emails. And the PM, Starmer, is angry that he's been placed in this position, which is why you've not seen him today. You might not see him tomorrow, or my tummy's not feeling very well. I might have to stay at home with the missus and the kids. Mad Matt UK with Ginger Knacker says 2, but then again, he's still a member of the royal family. Yeah, he's a blood prince. But the betrayal by a blood prince? Ooh. That's a bitter pill to be able to swallow. Ian McGee, 1. Starmer knew. Yes, MI5 would have filled Starmer in. And now Starmer is really upset at MI5. There's going to be an investigation into MI5. Look what Starmer does. It's all politics, but it's simple politics because he's not very bright. He should have come out today and said, oh, don't worry. Yeah, I wasn't aware. I wasn't briefed, but I stood up at PMQs and gave an honest answer. And then I was told afterwards. And here's the corroborative evidence. And what has he done? Naff all. So the Tories are demanding release of the full vetting file. They want to know when Mandy was vetted and how and to what extent and what was kept in the dark. Because it looked like he was given the job without the vetting being done. So in the last 10 days or so, you've had Paul Overton, Ginger Growler and Mandy. I'm telling you, the Labour Party is in utter disarray. This is a pattern of recklessness. And then you've got the Burnham dilemma. There's going to be a vote of no confidence in Starmer very soon. I would hazard a guess. Why? Because the Labour Party, this is about power. The Labour Party and the Labour MPs are fearful that they're going to lose their ability to put that in a very rich trough for 5 years after this term. They want 10 years in power. They're barely going to get 4. Now, I would suggest that we need to keep an eye on Starmer. So we'll ditch Beckham because it's boring now, but we'll have Starmer, daily Starmer watch. And from what I can gather, Mandelson wasn't vetted because there is a suggestion that he was the designer, along with Tony Blair, of New Labour. So he's a grandee of the Labour Party. He's the Prince of Darkness. Machiavelli, loves a bit of Machiavellian. But it's all about the trust of the Labour Party and the Labour politicians, of which Mandy is not. He's just a grandee. He's a has-been. He's now a never gonna be. But it's that trust that Starmer says he was going to bring it back to politics. And what has he done? So the public's perceptions of Labour, they're dishonest. They're crooked. They're all at it. And I've told you before, the Labour Party get caught out with the money, and the Tories, who've got the money, always get caught out with sexual scandals. So the Labour Party's just been in office just over a year. And I think they now see that Starmer's out of his depth. He can't master a brief. I mean, Kemi Not Good Enough can't, but she's the one that's putting him in the spotlight and under scrutiny. Mandy, Epstein's birthday book. Dear Lord. And the emails. So Starmer's ordered an investigation into the MI5 over false evidence. So hang on a second. Who lied? If Starmer's saying MI5 and false evidence, it must be MI5. Or is this Starmer covering his arse? So he can say, I'm going to start an inquiry into what MI5 did. I don't believe that I was briefed properly, and I didn't know, and I only knew afterwards. It's just murkier and murkier and murkier. The Labour Party are finished. And what the Labour Party are doing is they are killing off politics in this country. They are killing it, stone dead. This Labour parrot is no more. Pew, pew, Barnum and Groot, Cuthbert Dibberland, 8:50. Oh, the orange man's in town. He's at Stansted. So thank you for being part of the live this evening. I really appreciate it. I wanted to do that deep dive with the Charlie Kirk stuff simply because there's more stuff to be made available and will come out. This is not going away. America is split down the middle. There's only Trump, really, that's got a handle on the chaos. So if you could, before you leave the body of the Kirk, if you could smash the likes, I really would appreciate it, so we can get somewhere near 200 likes. We are going again tomorrow night, Wednesday night, 7:30. I will do my do my due diligence, there's Amalia saying, likes, you horrible lot. But Ghetto Defendant. I'll let Ghetto Defendant be the last comment on Starmer this evening. How can Starmer deny it if he overruled the security services? Somebody is about to get shafted. And I'm not talking about 3 Ukraine rent boys. So thank you for being in the body of the Kirk this evening. Smash the likes if you would. If you think I'm shite, then don't. Thank you for your subscriptions. Please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, because there's more coming, more interviews coming, more really interesting interviews coming, and I don't want you to miss out. Go and watch Janet Percival if you haven't already. Go and watch David Icke if you haven't already, but there's more coming. And whatever you do, wherever you go, please be safe, be well. Always take emergency Battenberg just in case. My name's Adrian Allen. This is the Theatre of the Mind. That was live 238. And remember, this is not a show. This is a mission. To bring you truth from the pulpit of truth. And thank you for being you, the jury, this evening. Gave you some deep evidence there. You paid attention. And I think we'll do more of that as the Theatre of the Mind evolves. So thank you. I'll see you tomorrow night, Wednesday night, 7:30. Let's see what the day brings and how mad the President of the United States, President 45 and 47. Let's just see how he entertains us tomorrow. See you tomorrow night, Wednesday night, 7:30.